Came out pretty hot, didn't it?
A little lower too.
I liked it. It does feel really nice, I will say that. Doesn't feel boardy or...
Doesn't feel too stiff down in the tip section.
Does not. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Michael, let's start with a hypothetical here.
Okay.
Can you imagine taking the two most popular iron shafts of all time? Of all time.
Of all time.
Clearly, one has to be a dynamic gold tour issue. The other is the modern player with the sort of heavier load transition.
Yeah.
Project X.
Project X.
Can you imagine merging those two worlds?
Two OGs.
Well, it has been done. The Accra iSteel Red, guys. We've been looking forward to the shaft coming in our walls for quite some time. We had the green series, the iSteel green, for a while. A dynamic gold handle and a rifle tip section.
Yeah, it's cool.
Something with a little bit more of a responsive, a little bit more feel, a little bit more kick. A lot of our customers really do well with that shaft.
Yeah, we've done well with it since it's been on the wall. The fitters enjoy it.
Yep.
I've hit it a couple times. It feels great.
Yeah, it really does. So now we have the iSteel red, the red version, Mikey, which is the same as what Project X is to rifle. It's the stiffer, more stout version. And again, that's in the tip section. If we look at sort of the steps of both shafts here, okay, we basically have a pretty much identical step pattern for the most part. We're really talking about the difference when we get down there in the tip activity. Much less, much stronger player to go for this one. Very interesting to obviously play around with two, as we said, we were joking, but play with two of the most popular shafts of all time. I think part of the acquisition of Accra, the shaft company, by True Temper, True Sports, probably now, it's got to be 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's time has flown, but Accra at that time were looking to get into the steel game, obviously doing amazing things as they have been for 15 years on the graphite side of things. I mean, that story we've told a few times, but it is a really cool story. Our fellow Canadians up here in Kingston, Dave and Gavin back in the day. But now they are under the True Sports umbrella. I think that gave them a little bit more firepower, a little bit more of an opportunity to play around with steel a little bit more. Yeah,
and access to kind of expedite the process rather than, these ideas take a long time, but when you have a company that, arguably has been making the top steel shafts in the market for a very long time, it makes Accra's life a little bit easier, which is good.
It definitely does. Accra have an exclusive relationship with the best club fitters in the world. That's always been the most important thing at Accra, has been to deal with the best club fitters in the world. So again, to put this shaft in the hands of the top club fitting studios out there, get that feedback, what does it do, how do they like it, that's a huge part of this sort of model as well. So we're going to test it today. We're going to kind of look at Project X, we're going to look at dynamic gold. We're going to, again, we've just been looking at sort of shaft profiles this morning with a couple of other shafts, but we're going to see where does the iSeries Red stack up? Where does it fit in amongst these? Because in any fit with a kind of player of decent swing speed, these two would be part of the mix.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, popular SKUs for us, and I think the interesting part of the video is who does this work for? Accra Red. What are you looking for in particular to get someone into that shaft?
Definitely, and truly have they merged the two most popular iron shafts of all time with the feel of a dynamic gold with the stepped handle, and then the rifle, the stepless tip section. Has that created the most sort of sought after, the best shaft that has ever been made?
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
All right, ready for us? DG 120 X100 T150 iron. Yeah,
our current spec in the head. I like this shaft. I've never been a Project X fan. I've never liked them.
Okay.
I had a few sets years ago, literally. Yeah, over 15 years ago. Was never really a fan, so this will be very interesting if I do start to like the feel of it with a different handle. We look at the sort of EI curve of these shafts, right? And we know that DG's a little softer in the handle and gets a little bit stiffer in the tip section. and Project X is more just that straight line EI that's very stiff the whole way.
Stable,
Stiff
yeah.
handle, stiff mid, stiff tip. So it'll be interesting if I like the feel of it, the feedback from the softer handle, but I actually like the stiffer tip. That probably maps to what I like in wood shafts.
Yeah, and your thoughts when you used Project X back in the day, it just too stable, too kind of...
I just didn't like it. It just didn't feel like it done anything.
Okay.
You know, we hit some shafts earlier on, and we were talking about, even though it felt stable, you could feel it. There was some feel in there. For me, Project X, there's no feel.
Okay.
I can't feel anything with it anyway.
Couple decent little strikes to start. Does it feel similar to the current shaft that you play now?
No.
No.
No, it doesn't. It feels good.
Yeah.
I will say that. This DG 120X, it does feel nice.
You striking, you good? How was that?
Not bad.
Interesting, that's where the strike was, because it sounded, from back here, it just sounded skinnier than the other ones
Did it
you've
really?
hit.
No,
Yeah.
it was okay.
Really good strike. Get a bit more out of it. Where's that? Right out of the middle?
It did feel better, yeah.
All right, Fries, back in, or into Project X 6.0 now.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously we've got stiff. I'm trying to keep 120 as the constant. I'm
Yeah.
trying to keep weight as the constant. So yeah, I guess technically we are a little bit softer technically.
Technically, yeah.
I don't think Project X plays soft though. So I think this will hang just fine, but we're trying to keep the 120 groupings together because it's a 120X we've got in the I Series red.
Got a Project X back in the bag.
There's no doubt about it. Like, I've not tried it for 15 years. 15 years ago, I didn't swing my
Right.
6 iron at 94 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So, yeah, probably not.
Not the worst.
Yeah, and not a lot of shaft I would hate nowadays.
Right. Oof. Roasted. Be calling Kingston right after this and getting a set of Project X iron shafts.
They feel good. They really do. That'd be the worst in the world.
Ho hum, pretty easy. You hit it like that, you get an invite to the member guest.
Oof.
Good strike. Hey, if you don't order them this afternoon, I'll order them for you.
All right, let's take a, well, in fact, let's not. Let's save it for the end,
Yeah.
the grand conclusion.
Build the
But
suspense.
Project X was quite good. Quite good.
Like I said, if you don't order them, I'll order them for you. And we'll hear less complaining.
Do we have here the best of both worlds, Michael? That's what we're here to find out. So the people are waiting to see. Came out pretty hot, didn't it?
A little lower too.
I liked it. It does feel really nice, I will say that. Doesn't feel boardy or
Doesn't feel too
No,
stiff down in the tip section.
does not.
That was nice. Striking your irons quite well
Thank
today.
you, Michael.
You hate every shot you've hit, don't you?
don't know. Not really sure, like, why it feels like these are just like going.
Jumpy, yeah.
They do feel good.
the field fraction softer than Project X?
Maybe. It's got to, I think, with that handle.
Yeah. That was striped.
All right, guys, fun little test. I think there's some cool little takeaways from this. Back to the subject of what is it that shafts do? What is the role?
Yeah.
What do they actually produce in results for players? Here's Dynamic Gold 120 X100, Project X 120 6.0, basically being swung at the same speed, 94, within half a degree of dynamic loft difference. Okay, I think to a lot of people, dynamic loft being higher with Project X might be a hair surprising. It's the face angle being a hair more open.
Yeah.
I think when you're able to see the full picture, and launch angle isn't the full picture, and actually neither is dynamic loft the full picture because it is three-dimensional. We see the path more to the right, we see the face more to the right. That's what allows the loft to be retained a little bit more. If anything, if we see a spin difference, let's see if we do, quite similar.
Yeah.
Right, actually quite similar between the two. Project X was timing up really nicely for me today.
Really, really nicely. Like I said,
good.
You look at dispersion and stuff like that, it was the 5 easiest swings I've ever seen you make. It was impressive.
When you see the trajectories of both overlaid, also quite interesting.
Yeah.
If you talk to somebody who reads the brochure but doesn't do the bay time, the reps, the sort of spend time giving it to customers, people will tell you initially Project X launches initially higher, then flattens out at the top. Dynamic Gold will launch initially lower and then will maybe spin a little bit more, so it'll reach a more of a steep peak. Oh, I don't know how you
That's
make
the
that
exact
argument.
same. Yeah.
Right, same golfer swinging it pretty much the same way.
Same specs, everything.
Yeah, they feel entirely different. They're not to be confused with one another, that is for sure. Actually, this one felt stiffer to me,
Yeah.
the Project X. So just there's less movement throughout the shaft. I think that's certainly what I feel. So when we look at the Accra I-Series Red, there seemed to be, it was just like, we were kind of saying, jumping off the face.
Couple flyers almost.
Well, it felt like it was just popping a little bit more. Dynamic loft came down a little bit more.
Yeah.
Face angle was actually pretty much, or delivery was pretty much on point with the 120 X100.
Club head speed's fairly similar.
0.2 of a mile an hour. It just felt like it was a little bit more efficient, in all honesty. The kind of net result of that, it was a slightly lower lunge and a slightly lower spin.
Yeah.
It was exiting out of a slightly lower window with higher speed. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm always chasing a lower flight that I can personally hit higher when I choose to.
Right, okay.
I don't love when the height is initially high and I'm trying to get on top of it, trying to get steeper. I'm looking to go the other way on it. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think maybe a fraction more dialing in to, I mean, that you look at standard deviation on the Project X60, it's pretty hard to believe. But yeah, I mean, all three, great shafts and, taking two of the most popular profiles and put them into one. Yeah, it's really good.
Definitely. So guys, again, this is going to sound like a sales pitch, and maybe it is, and maybe it should be as well. More reasons to come in and see stores like us that are not just working with an OEM fit cart, right? We're dealing with aftermarket parts, the best parts in the world, with companies who are thinking, okay, we have this great product and this other great product. How about we just mesh those two great products and take the best of what we feel is in those products and let's make something? That's the company I want to partner with.
Yeah,
That's
I
who
agree.
I love to endorse.
Yeah, they give us what club fitters need, and then ultimately can only equal a better club fitting experience.
Without a doubt. Very, very cool, guys. Enjoyed that one. I was joking with the boys. I've been dying to do this one for ages.
Yeah.
Because genuinely, I think it's a really cool story to take the best attributes from two of the best shafts, Hall of Famers. They're in GOAT status for their own category, and you can take a hybrid model of the two.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Smart.
Pretty cool. All right, guys, let us know what your thoughts are on that. Is that something you would consider? Maybe you tried Dynamic Gold and you kind of thought it maybe felt a bit softer for than you wanted. Maybe you tried Project X and thought, a bit stiffer than I wanted. Well, that's who this is for.
Totally.
This is the solution for that. It really marries those two worlds and brings them together. So love to hear it if you've tried iSeries Red, and if this has perked your interest to try them. Please let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you again soon.